Oops. Welcome back to The Road Show. This morning in The Buzz, the separation of church and state and public schools has been, of course, an ongoing battle for years. But the newest battleground isn't in the classroom. It's in the church itself. Across the country, many schools have taken to using churches as a venue for public school graduation ceremonies, and there's a lot of reasons for it. Number one, a lot of times they're larger. You can fit everybody who wants to be involved. They're less money, either because sometimes the church says, hey, this is a wonderful opportunity for us to plug into the community, and we'll charge less, so we'll waive any fees. And they're weatherproof. If you have it in a football field, you can't guarantee the weather, and then you can only bring in like a quarter of people into the auditorium. But here's the thing. Over the past 2 years, an advocacy group that monitors church and state disputes says it has intervened in 9 proposed church commencements in 7 states. In Connecticut, several schools who were going to hold their June commencements at an area megachurch but have changed their minds. That's happened after the American Civil Liberties Union complained. One school, though, decided to hold their ground when a Christian legal advocacy group said that they would support the district if the ACLU was sued. So the question is, a lot of people can see both sides of this. Is this crossing the line to have a public school graduation inside of a church, or is this simply an opportunity to host in an area where maybe not everybody would be able to get in otherwise?
I had my graduation in a church. I went to a Catholic school, though.
Okay.
So it's a little, it's apples and oranges. I also had Jewish kids that attended Bishop Hendricken as well, though.
True, but they're choosing to do that for their...
I understand. I think this is something where you just... I wouldn't have it in a church. I think it would just bring up too much stuff like this, I mean, we were talking about in the meeting today, if you're Jewish and you go to temple every day, and then maybe at your graduation you're sitting in a pew and it's kind of... I don't know.
It's a building. I mean, who cares?
It's more than a building, though.
But I mean, if I have my graduation at the Dunkin' Donuts Center, does that mean they're forcing me to be a basketball fan? I mean,
no. Well, certainly to drink their coffee.
Right. Well, what I'm saying is that it's like, to me, it's like I'm there for my graduation. There's a roof over my head. It's raining out. I don't care if I'm sitting in a pew or a chair. There's 2 screens up showing the graduation.
Yeah.
I mean, everywhere you go nowadays, there's a cross in the building.
I will admit it. My graduation, which was in a church, it didn't have the church feel.
No, I mean, it's not like they're playing.
It was packed, and it did feel like a building. But I think it just. We're talking about it now. I think it just brings up stuff that doesn't need to be brought up.
It's a matter of convenience. They're offering their building, which is big, and they can shelter you from the bad weather. It's not like they're handing out communion.
Yeah. Okay, but what if you go in and there's a Bible verse on the wall, or the pastor's there to shake hands with people?
Well, that's pushing it. If the pastor shows up to give high fives to people on their way in, that's promoting your product, if you want my honest opinion.
Well, what about if the fact that the church sees this as a way to plug in and connect with the community?
Well, it sounds to me like we're trying to find the ulterior motive here, and that out of the goodness of their heart, it'd be just like the farmer that has a big farmhouse that offers to have the graduation for the high school of, if there's 50 kids in the graduating class because it's going to rain.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't. Maybe I'm sticking up for the church here, but I'm not.
I don't think it's a big deal. I'm with you on. I mean, I would go to my graduation wherever it was. I'd let stuff like that roll off my back.
If it was at a temple,
I think it would just bring up. I think it would just. I mean, it's already causing controversy, so I think it could have just easily been avoided.
Well, I think this is really interesting because you can definitely see both sides of the issue here. But I'm curious about what people on our live blog and our Facebook page are saying about this morning, Courtney.
Not too many people on the fence. It looks like they're on one side or the other in support of it, or just like totally thinking it's crossing the line. We've got comments on both Facebook and the live blog. Let's take a look at foxprovidence.com. First, this one is from Smoky Wolves, and she says, I believe it's crossing the line. I think they should stay at school. I don't think the churches is the right place for that. There are so many religions out there. How are they going to make everyone happy when there are so many of them? I just don't think it's going to work. And Lisa says, I can see them just using the space as long as it's the graduation ceremony and nothing religious. Here's the poll here right under the live blog. Is a public graduation ceremony in a church crossing the line? A, yes, it merges church and state, or B, no, it's just a venue for a ceremony. And if you're on Facebook right now, you can log on and chat with the other 8 comments that are there. And Aaron Scorpio says, I think if it's a regular graduation where no prayers and such are said, then I don't see a problem with it. And Diane Cohn said, what happened to the separation of church and state? If you can't pray in schools, you definitely shouldn't be able to graduate in a church. So there you have it, both sides this morning, but we'll see what the final result is with the poll in about a half hour. But for now, we're going to head back to the kitchen. Patrick